Welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show. In today's episode, I will teach you how to exponentially grow your business using Grant Cardone's 7-step formula. In case that you haven't heard of Grant Cardone, he's an amazing sales trainer. She's the author of the 10X Rule. Here's the book. Number one. And then another, he wrote many books, but my favorite ones are the 10X Rule and Sell or Be Sold. These are great books for you to explore for your business. It really helps you not just learning the like specifics on your business, but also helps you with your mindset and how to think differently if you want to 10X your business. So in these books, specifically the 10X Rule, he emphasizes the importance of massive action and strategic planning to achieve extraordinary success. I am Grant Cardone licensee. I'm a 10X business coach, part of his coaching program. And in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through the formula that Grant discovered when he was implementing and testing many business strategies to finally figure out what to do and how to grow his business to the next level. So stay tuned, because this is in today's episode, you're going to learn a lot. And I also wanted to share that I'm teaching a webinar this week specifically on this topic. So if you're listening to this episode, once it got released, you will have the option to join me for free on this webinar, where I'm going to go more in depth on how you can learn to exponentially 10X your business. If you want to sign up, you can go to marianadalto.com/10X growth. 10X growth, yeah. And then I will also put it in the show notes in case you need that. But I think the podcast will give you like a big picture. The webinar will give you a little bit more in depth on the content. So if you're really looking to find other ways to think of your business differently, maybe find other strategies that you haven't thought of, then I would suggest joining the webinar that is coming up. All right, so as I said before, Grant discovered this 7-step formula. I'm so excited because it's such a great way of really putting together a path on what you need to do in order to grow. And even if you are just starting up in your business, this is actually amazing because it really gives you an idea on what to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I mean, it just, sometimes there's so much content out there and to talking about business and how to build a business and how to grow a business, and we get overwhelmed by the amount of information. So this is a very clear path that I will walk you through today. Again, the webinar will go in more in depth if you are interested to learn more. But step 1 is about talking about first idea and target. Every successful business begins with a powerful idea and a really clear target. While many have ideas, and a lot of ideas, it is really the establishment of a substantial target that really sets successful individuals apart from having that idea and putting it into action. Common mistakes that always happens is, including like setting targets that maybe they are too small, or losing focus due to, external distractions and lacking accountability. A lot of things happens where sometimes if you set your own targets without working with someone or talking to someone about the targets, you might go too small or sometimes too big, depending on what you're trying to accomplish in what period of time. So this is something that Grant and we as coaches help clients, help them understand what's the right target for what you're looking for to do. Again, having external distractions that really there's so much noise, everywhere in life. It's like, there's a lot happening, right? So sometimes you have a target and then you get distracted by something else. And then you're like, okay, where was that? What do I need to do now? So keeping yourself grounded with a target and have an accountability partner to help you with that, it really, really helps you move forward. So to overcome these challenges, you need to first evaluate your idea, right? So rate your idea on a scale from 1 to 10. Is it your idea compelling enough really to drive your business forward? What is it that you're thinking of that could maybe not have enough substance, right? The other thing is assess your system. Rate your system from achieving this idea. Do you have a structured plan in place? Because having ideas without taking action and doing anything with ideas that's not going to take you anywhere. And then when you decide, okay, I'm going to start implementing without a plan, you can go in many directions and feel like you're not taking traction or making any progress. So that's why having a compelling enough idea and also a system to follow, that is key. Now, the second point and the second step that Grant talks about is attention and marketing. In today busy marketplace, capturing attention is crucial. There's so much noise in social media, and which you still need to do social media and organic. You have organic traffic, right? But Grant says that obscurity is the single biggest killer of dreams, because if people don't know you, they won't follow you. They won't know who you are. And if they don't know who you are and what you offer and how you can help help someone solve a problem, then it's not gonna go anywhere. So to effectively gain attention, the number one thing is you gotta be omnipresent. You gotta utilize multiple platforms to ensure your presence is felt everywhere. Then the second thing is consistency over perfection. I know this is hard for many of you, but having regular postings and regular interaction, having that consistency, really, that consistent message will have greater impact than posting sporadically. And even, having high quality content is important too, right? Because you just can't post to post. You got to have good content that really help your prospect or future customer to really understand how you can help them and what is it that you can do to help them with their problems. So again, have regular and then consistent messaging, and then with high quality content. And then the third one is build trust through frequency. The more frequently your audience hears from you, the more trust you will build. One of the ways that I do that, and I love doing this, is with podcasting. I know that I also post a lot on social media, but for me, the way I provide quality content, the way I feel like I'm serving my clients, my small business owners, is with a podcast, right? That's, for me, it's like one of the biggest impacts for my business, like having a place, a stage where I can help with the content that I know that I can help them move the business forward. Now, the third step is about leads. Now, attention should seamlessly convert into leads, right? So you're putting all this attention in social media, with your email list, with any videos that you do, anything that you do, like if you have interviews, if you go into people's, if you are a guest in other people's podcasts, you are trying, to get your voice out there to get leads. And leads are individual, and these individuals will be interested in your product or services based on what you're offering, right? So the things that you need to consider are you want to have a diverse lead generation strategy. There are many ways to generate leads. You can, do it through social media. You can do it through email campaigns. The more you implement, the better reach you will have with your target audience. This is so impactful and so hard sometimes for people to do. You gotta be consistent, but that's the way to generate leads and the way to get to talk to your target audience. The second one is scalability, meaning ensure your lead generation strategies can grow with your business. So that strategy on lead generation has to have a plan so that you know that as you grow with your business, that lead generation will grow as well. And then the third one is value of all leads, meaning recognize that every lead holds potential value. Nurture them accordingly. So don't think because you have a lead today and it's not buying today, it's not a good lead. It will always be a potential buyer if you nurture them and you keep providing value to them to a point where they see how what you offer is really going to help them with their problem, right? The fourth step, and this is crucial because once you start doing attention and marketing, promoting yourself, promoting your brand, promoting your business, getting leads. Now it's getting tricky because now we go into the first step, which is lead management, which is exciting, but on the other hand, it's like, oh my goodness, how I'm gonna get myself organized with all these people, right? So effectively managing leads is essential for conversion. So Grant says, and he highlights that a significant portion of sales are made after multiple contacts. And I talked about this in many of my episodes. I talk about the importance of follow-up. Between the 5th and the 12th contact is when you get the most out of the lead, because you really need to connect several times in order for the lead to convert. So you can go back to my episodes on follow-up to learn more about it, but this is one of the key things for marketing and sales that you got to do follow-up. So to optimize lead generation or lead management, actually, you want to have continuous engagement with your lead. Regularly, you want to interact with them to keep your brand top of mind. And that's why, that's why you do a lot of work on attention and marketing with social media, not just to get the lead, but also to be on top of mind. So now they are in your CRM, now you need them to keep seeing you in many places, meaning you need to be omnipresent to be top of mind for them. The other thing is the personalized communication, meaning you want to tailor your messages to address the specific needs and the interest for each lead, because not all the leads are the same. They have different problems. They might be within the area of expertise that you have, but they will come to you from different angles trying to figure out their problems. So you got to talk to kind of them individually on the different things that you can help them, right? And then again, I talked about the strategic follow-up. You need to develop a structured follow-up strategy, understanding that persistence often leads to sales. But in order to do that, you have to leverage a CRM to have things organized and save you time. I know what you're doing and putting things in place, right? So that's kind of key. And then we'll go into the steps 5, which is sales. Sales are the lifeblood of any organization. A consistent and defined sales process is crucial. Grant emphasizes that increased sales require a consistent, defined sales process. And in the future, I will do an episode specifically on the sales process, because this is crucial, and I haven't talked about that in detail. But so I will go deeper in those in that topic. But again, the webinar that I'm doing is going to take you into more detail as well. Now, specifically on sales, I want to simplify it right now and bring up 3 points that they are really key for sales. One is urgency, having urgency in offers. So you want to create compelling reasons for customers to act now to the offer that you're making. If you don't do that, then people will forget, they will come back later or never come back. So the urgency is important, but you have to have a compelling reason why you would do that. The second point on the sales is the simplicity, meaning Keep the sales process straightforward and transparent to avoid overwhelming potential customers. So always be transparent. Just tell them, upfront everything about your process. So then you don't have that resistance when you're talking to someone. They know, they trust you, they understand where you're coming from with what you offer. So the process being straightforward and transparent for me is key. And then third is focus on the second sale, meaning the second sale is often the most profitable and the easiest to obtain. Because at that point, the customer already knows you. The customer already purchased something from you in the past. They trust you. And then you are giving them more value based on what they are in their stage in their business, right? So it's a different story when you start from a cold lead, when you get from lead generation, than when you already have a customer that worked with you in the past and they know you, and then you can keep providing value to them in a different type of offer. Now, let's move on to step 6, which is manage revenue. In this step, managing revenue, you can effectively ensure sustainability and growth in your business that way. Building and developing a competent sales team is vital. Grant, he has been in sales for so long. He has a great sales team, and he advises that that you should always recruit and train your salespeople. And to be honest, this is not just for sales. You should always have kind of like a pipeline of people that you want to recruit within your organization, because people always moved on or they don't perform the way you expect them to perform. And you always need to train them. You just can't expect people to show up even though they have the knowledge. You want to train them the way it'll work for your business, and train them in your system and the way you do things, right? So I see that all the time where people get frustrated because it takes time to train people, but you have to do that in order for that to work in your benefit. Now, there's some strategies on this one that I want to highlight 3 of them. One is, and I mentioned this earlier, continuous recruitment. You will always want to be in the lookout for talented individuals to join your sales team, even your organization, not just your sales team. There's people rotate all the time, or you never know when you might find someone that is gonna really be a great asset to your business. Ongoing training is important. You want to invest in regular training to keep your team updated and motivated. We use Cardone University for our own training. It helps you with not just the skills that you need for your business, for your marketing, for your sales, for anything, but also your mindset, your inspiration, how to keep moving forward, going about, facing obstacles. This is so important. So the training has to be regular in order for the employees to stay motivated and keep performing in your business. And then the performance accountability, meaning use metrics and graphs to hold salespeople accountable and track progress. If you have a system in place where you're really showing your employee, these are the goals that I want you to accomplish, this is what I'm expecting from you, you're meeting on a regular basis to discuss the things that needs to get done, and you hold them accountable and track the progress, then that's gonna work, and you're gonna see progress in your business, and the person is also gonna grow as an employee and do better. So it starts from you first training, then it continues with the employee having that regular training every day, if possible. And then it comes from you as a leader to have that performance accountability, tracking the progress of your employees based on the goals that you set for them. And the last step is the seventh step, which is scaling, which is about growing your business while maintaining or increasing profitability, right? So Grant, he has 7 businesses. He's done an amazing job with all these businesses. And his point of view on scaling is having an organized commitment to expand the business despite chaos, because it's depending where you're at in your business, you're going to have chaos, but the idea is to have that commitment to be organized in order to get better. So in order to scale effectively, you want to have financial planning, which is not a surprise. So you want to develop budgets and financial plans that will support growth initiatives. You want to have operational efficiency, meaning you want to streamline operations that will maximize profits and support increased demand. And the last one, which is very important too, is the reinvestment. You want to really allocate profits strategically to fuel further growth and expansion. You want to reinvest in your business, in yourself, because you need to grow as a person, as a business person, and you want your business to grow as well. So you got to invest in tools, you got to invest in your own knowledge, you got to invest in masterminds, in coaches, anything that can take you to learn to move your business to the next level. And when you're scaling, you got to do that. It's a must. So if you paid attention to this episode and you apply this Grant Cardone 7-step formula, you can position your business to exponential growth. So remember, massive action combined with strategic planning is the key to achieving 10x success. Again, if you want to learn more about these 7 steps to 10x your business, you can join my webinar at marianadalto.com/10xgrowth. You can find the link in the show notes. And I promise you, you will not only learn new things that you can implement in your business, but you will also be inspired on how much potential you have to grow your business to the next level. So thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for more insights in our upcoming episodes. Thank you.